We're right in the middle of summer conditioning, and our guys are here. And the good thing about it, they're in summer school, so they're taking some hours, and plus we get a chance to really work with them, just see where we're at as a team. We continue to build. Most of our freshmen are here, with the exception of South Hall and Fowler, which they have some work to do, and they'll be here, as soon as they get that work completed. But you look at that freshman class. Last year we signed 2 guys over 300 pounds. In this class alone, there's been 9 that we signed that's 300 pounds or better, and they're athletic. They're big guys they're really athletic. You look at us offensively, even with Bouchel being here, but you got a quarterback, you got a running back in Porter. The wide receivers with Colin, but then you get Hemphill, you get Curtis, and you get Little Jordan. And then the line, Shaq was here in the spring, but you still have Tope who came in, DeLance who came in, and Okafor, and then that tight end with Peyton. Our biggest needs we were able to address was our defensive line, because we had to address that with Christmas, with Daniels, with Elliott and Wilbon, and then you look at outside with Fitz and Roach. So you're looking right now 6 guys there. When you get South Hall here, it'll be 7, and then you get Fowler here, that's 8. So it's 8 freshman defensive linemen that we'll have a chance to work with. The linebacker McCullough was a good addition for us, and then in the secondary with BJ, Chris Brown, and Cuffy. But it's exciting right now. Guys know how to work, and they're working, and it's just a totally different attitude with our team.
Questions? Coach, do you see Roach on the strong side or the girl?
Well, it's right now, he can play either position. He's got enough size, enough range to him where he's strong enough where he can play to the strong side, and then he's athletic enough to play to the open side.
Charlie, what did you get out of the satellite camp?
What happened is they said that we couldn't go out as a head coach to evaluate in May, but then you had a satellite camp, so you get a chance to go out in June to evaluate. But you look at Houston, and we didn't have a large amount of numbers because with the satellite camps, there's so many now, and a lot of the guys are going to so many. Plus, there were 7-on-7s going on, and I asked one of the guys, I said, "Are you tired?" He said, "Yeah, coach, this morning we had our morning workouts, and then I came out here to camp in the evening. And then we go up to Dallas, and you run into the same thing. You had more numbers, but still, though, I think it's really a grind on a lot of the kids, because now, they want to be seen, so they're coming to all these camps, and everyone is trying to showcase their program, and everyone wants to be around it. But I just think that we could do a better job with the satellite camps, and even if you just limit the number of, so many can be done, or so I don't know how you can do it, but because really the good ones that are being recruited, they're not coming to the satellite, they're not coming anyway. So and you probably can go in and maybe find 1 or 2 who's been recruited and then has some really good have a good day that day, but. We just got to find a way where we can help the student athletes and those who are participating, where you can kind of limit where it can really help them, where they just don't get worn out.
Charlie, how were the exit interviews this year different from last year?
Exit as in far as?
When you're talking to the guys before they leave and get their minds right coming back to summer.
When dealing with the exit interviews and just talking to the players, it's knowing that they know what their mindset is and what they want to get accomplished, and it's just totally different now, because now they've been around us for 3 years, so they understand, and they know the sense of urgency and what they want to get accomplished.
Coach, are you allowed to speak on anything as far as new additions to the team at this moment? So you tweet?
No, I really have not or cannot until we get the paper in our hand, and we haven't gotten the paper yet, but we cannot speak on it.
Are you optimistic about maybe getting additions?
Yeah, I like to see us. I hope we can get us somebody, huh? but until we get it, then. But it's, you always, recruiting is 24/7, 365 days. We just don't ever stop, and you just got to go. And that's the good thing about it, because you get a chance to just always talk about your program and make sure that, if we can add student athletes, that's what we're going to do.
Coach, how's the attitude totally different?
Well, it's when you just talk about just the attitude, just overall just how they're working right now. And now that you look at it, and even the players, they just have just a sense of knowing that this is what we got to get accomplished, and just knowing that, hey, in order for this to happen, we're going to have to work, but we're going to have to build, and we're going to have to come together as a team. And when you talk about leaders, I always look at, sometimes it may not be a starter, but a guy like a Tim Cole who has the respect of his teammates, and Tim would be an unbelievable leader. But on the offensive side, like Perkins never says anything, but guys just watch how he works, and Perk does a really good job. But I just think that now that you end up the season with that Baylor game, and they was just kind of sitting there thinking that they had another game, and no, guys, it's not another game. The season's over, and I didn't think if it's now it's like, hey, we know we're a better football team than what we've shown, so let's go to work and prove it.
Well, because Shane had such a big spring, do you think guys are kind of looking at him more as a leader going into these summer workouts? And do you see him kind of have the attention of the guys around him?
Well, the quarterback position, though, is always going to be a position where you're going to see the leader, and you see a leader emerge from that group. But still, though, Swoops is doing a good job of working hard, and even Gerard. And the summer is guys are out there and they're around one another, so they know, they know who Shane is, and just how hard he works, and what he brings to the team. So, but even with Swoops and Hurd, all three of those guys are doing a good job. So it's just hard to say, hey, it's just one guy who's stepping forward.
But Michelle's the one who asked you at 10:30 at night for keys to the
But
bubble.
Bouchel did, and Bouchie did. He gave me a call, and he asked me, he wanted to go throw, and him and Colin are always together, and they just wanted to get out and get some throws in. And I just told him, I said, hey, the lights are out, but tomorrow morning they'll be on. And he's like, no, Coach, we can go right now. I said, okay, I'll meet you guys over there.
Coach, but I know you said Tyrone's looking good, but traditionally he's looked good in practice, but it's struggled more so in games. Do you have any concern that might be a repeat of last year where he emerged as a number one, but then struggles when the lights come on?
Well, he's going into a senior year now, so you expect more from guys, and guys will step up, and guys, you look at it, it's you're right, it's still summer, but still though, when a guy goes into a senior year, you're going to expect more from him.
When do you hope you have that one?
Well, when we get that one, I would like to think that we would get it done earlier in camp so that we can get the guys with the one and move on. But when I look at it now, and just the way we're trying to build a team, I like to say that we have enough bodies now where we can play two units on both sides of the ball, where you feel like that, hey, because they're going to get the practice in. So I think that if you get the practice in, and then you're able to get them some snaps early, and God forbid if a guy was to get an injury, now you've played them enough where they can go in and go play, and you feel comfortable with them.
Do you see some of Shane's dad in him, the fact that he's got bloodlines from a competitive guy, and he's ready to mix it up in that game against the Blue Jays? But do you see that in a player that just by the luck of the draw, this kid's got bloodlines that maybe some other kids don't?
Steve said in that game he didn't say anything. He don't understand how he got tossed. He said, I didn't say anything. And I said, I hope your son didn't see that. But no, you're right. And the thing about Shane is that he's been a quarterback, and that's what he's always worked as, a quarterback. And a lot of times you see guys who are athletes who are playing quarterback, where he is a quarterback. And you're right, just because of his bloodlines and what he's been around, he's just got that competitive spirit to him.
Coach, do you think that Jason Hall and Dylan Haynes, are those guys going to get pushed this year by Deshaun Elliott and Brandon Jones for playing time at the safety?
Well, you feel like you got competition in every position, so that's what you want to see that happen. I hope we get that, where we get guys who are going to be pushed.
How critical is the Notre Dame game that next season, Charlie?
It's big, and you look at it, and you want to go out. I know last year we didn't go out and play well at all, and we're at home. It's an opener for us. And you're talking about where we need it within our program, where we need to go play well, and we're at home too. So I expect us to go play well.
How much have you?
Being the only game on that
I do, and I told our players that what's really great is we're the only game on that Sunday, and that now everybody across the country is going to have a chance to watch you play. But why else would you want it any other way? You're at the University of Texas, and that's the way it should be. But now we have a chance early to just stamp our mark, and we'll just see where we are.
Usually in the offseason, it's all about Texas OU. Have you heard more about Notre Dame this offseason?
Oh, you have, and the buildup is I think it's right now it's kind of just easing its way, and I think it's going to as we get closer, it really is going to build up. And I told our players I didn't think I did a good job last year with that game because I just made too much about it early, and so now they just approach it like any other game and just let our guys get ready to go play it because they're going to hear so much about it. There's not much need to be said.
Find a kicker.
As that pressure ramps up or the attention ramps up on that game, how much of that do you expect to be focused on you and kind of where the program's been the last 2 years and where people think it needs to be?
Oh, it'll be. I think that it will come, and but what we have to do is just not so much just put it on one person. It's just still about building a team and just making sure that we prepare our team the right way and let them go out and the preparation is where we prepare them and they have that preparation and where they're set to go play and I know this, even if the focus gets on me, I will shift it off and just make sure that our team understands how important this game is.
Coach, do you think that Denzel Okafor can come in and play? Do you guys slate him as a tackle right off, or do you think he can come in as a guard?
You know what? We just haven't looked at where we place him because we ain't had a chance yet. So, I mean, when we get to August, we'll know more.
Charlie, at Louisville, between years 2 and 3, you had that big jump from 7 wins to 11. Is that a possibility this year? Could you see that big jump at Texas?
Well, we're young and we're talented, and you just don't know. It's got to be how we just come out and just come out and compete. You just don't know. You can't count the wins. Just say, hey, it's going to be this big of a jump. But we know this. We got to improve, and we have to get better.
Coach, with the bodies coming in on the defensive front, even inside the tackle, do you feel good that you should be able to manufacture a pass rush with just the front four?
Well, you would like to think so because now you have enough bodies that you can alternate in there and keep guys rested up because, with Boyette and Poona and Chris Nelson are really your only 3 vets that you have coming back inside. So now with that freshman group, a lot of those guys are going to have to play. And even outside because you got Cottrell and then Nashawn Hughes. But still, though, you have those bodies. Minihue. Now you have some more bodies out there to help them, and then just get them rested. Where when we get to a passing situation where we feel like you have fresh bodies on the field.
Charlie, do you think you'll have any new names competing at kicker?
No, the guys that we ended up with spring with are our kickers, and that's who we're going to have to go into the fall with.
Coach, how pumped up are you that the conference is going to have a conference championship game next year? Put you guys back in the mix, and how exciting is that for the conference and for the Horns?
Well, I think it's really exciting for the conference, even for the University of Texas, because now you get more exposure, and then you get a conference championship, and now you have that Saturday where it's championship Saturday, so it's really good, and it's really good for the conference.
Charlie, what kind of impact have you seen Charlie Williams have on your receivers? You take a guy like Foreman, this is his 3rd position coach in 3 years. So has Charlie had kind of like a calming impact? What has he done with that group?
Well, when you talk about assistant coaches, it's all about building a relationship with your players, and your players have to trust you. And Charlie's, he's old school. He's been around for a long time, and he knows how to communicate, and he knows how to just push that button, what button it may be. But he knows how to just get the players to go play, and you want them to go play and compete at their best. And I think Charlie, even with Jeff Traylor sitting there with those 2 guys, they've done that.
Coach, what have you learned about Sterling Gilbert, since he's been here? What can really impress you the most?
Sterling, a lot of confidence, believing what he's doing, has a system, and he's going to go with it. But and plus, the thing he's done is been able to get the offense where the players understand the system and where they feel good about it. because of the confidence he has. Now you can see that with the players. Now they have that confidence and have that belief in the system.
You think this is the depth, Charlie, that you're just gonna play a whole lot of players on both sides of the ball, or would you just rather play your best players, even at a smaller number?
Well, what you like to do, because we always talk about players getting wore down. They play a lot of plays, and we're talking about playing a lot of plays on offense. You're going to have to play a lot of players just to keep players fresh. And we go out and practice. And I was telling our coaches the other day, I said, we go out and practice. And so if we're in practice now, if they're going to practice, we got to give them opportunity to play. Plus, when you look at it, it builds within your team. Now they start feeling good about themselves, and then they have confidence because they know they're going to play now. The worst thing to do is have a bunch of players that are sitting on the sideline, and if they're not playing, then they're upset, and then you start feeling it. You don't want to feel that within the team. So now, hey, give them a chance to go out. Even I don't know how many plays a game is going to be, but let them go out there and let them play and let them go compete. And now we give the other guys a chance to rest and just freshen up.
Charlie's the ideal situation to have Cole or Wheeler at middle so you can move Malik around, or how do you see it?
Well, right now with the number of defensive linemen, we have ways of moving Malik if we need to, but you have enough bodies there now up front where just got to get those guys coached up and get them ready to go play. But if you move Malik, you look at Tim is inside, you have Wheeler inside, you have Freeman's inside, and now Malik and Townsend. So you really have, and then you got to bring McCullough along. So it's just hard to say, hey, now we need to move him, because you just don't want to make one position weaker when you have enough players at the other position.
What's the relationship between Deontay and Chris, and do you really see a kind of dynamic duo? Do they see that as well?
Yeah, they have a really good relationship, and it's and I think that they see it within themselves. I think they respect one another's ability. But that's what you want to get to when you talk about those two guys. Look at how they compete when we're talking about at the safety position. And if you keep recruiting well enough, then you're going to get that. You want to get that at every position where guys feel like, hey, you know what, if I come out, then I got a guy who goes in for me who can go do almost anything I can go do. And that's what you like to see happen. But they do, and they see that. They know that they're two dynamic backs that – and they're big guys that can get the ball down the field, and they're fast enough to outrun people. But even if you give a changeup, you still got like a Kurt Johnson. There's Porter coming in. There's Tristan Houston still sitting there. But you have some guys now that you can, even if you pull one of those guys out and you want to change it up some, you go to a speed guy. You have speed guys also.
What do you want to see from Chris Boyd this year?
You like to see Chris, and you sat there last year with Devontae and Houghton Hill, but and Chris competed well, and it's he's an unbelievable special teams player, but he has enough where he can be a starter, and I think that he's going to compete, and he wants to start, and he's working right now where he goes out each and every day to and he's going to be given that opportunity.
Can he work at the nickel, or do you see him more out at corner?
No, he'll be outside. Mm-hmm.
Charlie, did you guys work on the 18-wheeler package with Tyrone in the spring, and our specialty packages for the quarterbacks? Is that something Sterling wants to do, or would you guys like to do more conventional offense?
You want me to tell Notre Dame what we're doing? Is that what you want me to tell Notre Dame? But they see it anyway, don't they? Because we worked on an 18-wheeler package. But it's you got so much you can do now, because Tyrone you still have that package, but with those quarterbacks, all at least you look at them and they all can do different things, and if you want a specialty package for one of them, you can always get that worked out. I think Sterling's smart enough to do that.
Charlie, as good as your running backs are, in an ideal situation, would you like to throw just maybe 15, 18, 20 times a game or so?
Well, you're going to have to throw the ball, because I think if you don't, then people are going to load the box, and if they load the box, you got to take the pressure. And when you have the good running backs, at least it helps the quarterback, because he knows he has a run game. But we're going to have to throw the ball, because they're going to sit there on top of us, because they know that with those two big backs, and we can turn around and hand it off every time. I don't think we can do it. We got to be. We got to make sure that we can throw it and run and throw the football.
You've coached some of the best. Where do you see guys like Colton Hill and Devontae in terms of growth and upside?
Well, they're going to get better, and then and the thing they have is height. They have height and a good size on them, and they can run. So and the only thing they're going to do is just get better and improve. And because you look at it as a freshman, now they're going into year 2, and now they've gotten stronger. They've been in the winter conditioning, their summer conditioning. So those two guys are just going to improve and just get better and better.
Coach, what's an average day of summer conditioning like for the team right now? What do they do?
Well, it's broken down. So what do you have on Mondays? Mondays they run, and then they'll lift, and then Tuesdays is an agility day with them, and then you come back Wednesdays they're off, bounce back on Thursdays agility, and Friday they run. So, it's upper body on Mondays and Thursdays is upper body. Tuesdays and Fridays is lower body lifting. So they still have summer school, but they have a lot of time, and so I just want to make sure they have some time where they, especially with the freshmen.
A guy like Fitzgerald, can he grow into a tackle position, or how do you see?
Tackle as in he's at end right now, and just his whole body. It just depends because you look at his body. I mean, I think Fitz right now is sitting there like probably 250, 255, which is a good size, and he can carry it well. But the thing you don't want to do is make him really big because what he really does is he gets off and he goes so hard, and you just don't want him to just lose an edge about him.
Charlie, aside from the strength and speed training, what do you think are some of the things this team has to get done from now until the time you guys meet up for fall practice in August?
Well, you got to come together as a team, and you continue to build as a team. But when you talk about the speed training, it just depends on how fast we go. So that's going to be critical because now when you're talking about getting them bigger, stronger, faster too, it's going to come into how fast we practice. So it's going to depend on the tempo, and the tempo how you lift can that translate to the football field. But you want to watch guys continue. Some guys need to still take some weight off of them. Some guys we need to put some weight on, and so when you get to the second session, then now it's more you get still ready to kind of just cutting them down so they can transition right into fall camp.
Charlie, just in general terms, what happened at Baylor this spring, does that catch your eye as a coach? Does that make you evaluate, kind of self-evaluate how you handle things? Just what was your reaction to it in general?
Well, you know what, I still, you see that situation, but still, it's just hard for me to, I look at what we still got here, and I know this, that we still need to continue to just look at our program and make sure we're doing it the right way.
But you traditionally said if an upperclassman is tied with a freshman, you normally go with the freshman. Would the same apply with Buechel? If he was tied at some point with Tyrone and Gerard, would you say you would go with the freshman at that position?
I think that position will work itself out, and it's good. They'll be given plenty of opportunities to get that done.
Joe, in terms of the run defense last year, looking back, was it because of the youth and that, or was the front and the back not tied together the way it should have been?
When you talk about, when you give up big runs, it's gap control. It's about fitting blocks. It's about getting off of blocks. It's about, making sure that you come down, and when you bring an extra guy in the box, that you put the front is slanted one way, and it's all gap control and guys getting off of blocks. And we didn't do a good job of stopping the run. You talk about just making a team one-dimensional. We never did that last season. And usually when I say if a team's able to run the ball on you, then they're just showing you they're just out physical. They're just tougher, and they're being more physical than you are. And that's what we can't allow to do. We have to improve our run defense.
As a defensive guy, is that something that eats at you and you're on everybody about it? How do you?
Well, it eats at you because you look at our. I don't know. I think we end up giving up like 160 or something. I don't know the number of yards that we gave up, but it wasn't good at all. And our guys on defense, from Coach Bedford and all of them, they understand we got to improve there.
Charlie, how are you handling the pressure personally? Does it wear on you?
No, it really does, because when you're around a team and you see what you have and what you continue to build, it really doesn't wear on me, because I just know, and we just got to continue to improve his team, do a better job recruiting, getting the right guys in here, and just build it the right way.
Are you confident in this season?
You know what you'd like to say now, you're going into year 3 and you just want to make sure that you're making progress, and you want to make sure that this season we make some progress.
When you were at Florida, winning national titles, you could look out at the field and see players. When you look out at the field now, do you see players, or do you still have a long way to go?
Well, what you're doing is you look at your last 2 classes, and you look at Malik's class, and you got some guys, and then you look at this class, and you probably, just a few guys off. But the thing that is different is they're still young, so now it's all about them just making sure, you're going to have to play some young guys, so you just got to be comfortable with it. But it'll get there. I mean, because you're still at a place where you can recruit, and you can get the right guys in to get them and get what you need.
Coach, just to clarify earlier when you talked about the satellite camps, you said there's, we need to get better at it. You were saying like the NCAA and the rules about it needs to get better about how, you said something about how many you're allowed to have and stuff like that. Is that an issue that you think you think?
Yeah, because I don't control them, so I'm not trying to get better at them. I just know I had to go work at them. Yeah, but no, it's it's just what happened. You guys just get worn down because I think that when we were there, when we were in Houston on Thursday, then the coaches from Houston Baptist was going to go do another camp the next day in another area of Houston. So now, so now we were in Dallas. Then I think the night before we got there, someone else was there. So but it just comes down to it just takes a toll on the young man's body because when you get, they're going to go hard the night before. Then when you come, they're going to really want to go hard. So it's I don't know. I just think that they have to be smart because now plus they got their school workouts that they have to go do.
Generally, the problems with academic support have been well documented, but do you have confidence that it's going to end up in the right direction? And where is it now?
Well, if you look on our side, when our team GPA was at 2.8, so Eric and that group with Miss Jean and Julian, they did a good job of with our guys, and they understand. We understand that what our academic needs are and where we need to get to, and you want to make sure that academically that you give the players a chance to go be successful, and they've done a good job. But the 283 was good because right there at the end we made a really big push because then our guys they took care of their work in the classroom, which you want to see happen.
Charlie, what's it say about a guy like John Burke that competed at such a high level at the other sport, so to speak, and then you got a guy like Marquise who's got a good shot at getting to Rio?
Well, you always love to see those 2 sport athletes, and I know we have probably some more guys who probably can go out and run track if they would put their mind to it and go do it. But to see John Burt do it, it was really fun, and to watch him because I can remember we were here for the Texas relays. I think somebody hit his hurdle and he didn't run well, and he was so upset with himself. And I said, okay, you're gonna get another chance. There's plenty more track meets left. But watch him go out and do as well as he did. And then I think he's at the Junior Olympics now. I think that's where he is this weekend. He's running somewhere this weekend, I think.
Now that you've had a chance to see some of these big guys, the 9 300-pounders, do you see that they can help?
Well, yeah, because you look at their body, and it's this. When you talk about 300-pounders, that's what you want to see. Big and the guys that can move, where they're not just getting pushed around, and they have enough athletic ability where they can get off of blocks and go make plays.
What do you do to unwind this summer?
What I do to unwind this summer? I don't know. I don't know if I ever get to unwind. You don't ever get to unwind, huh? No, I don't think so. I don't think I ever get to unwind.
Going anywhere?
No, I don't. No, I just. It's not, yeah. It's nowhere to go. Even when you go somewhere, you never unwind because you're still concerned about what's happening. So and then you're always on the phone. Okay, what happened? Okay, call him. Where's he at? Tell him to call me. So it's almost like why even go? Because everybody gets mad at you because you're on your phone, and then they're saying, well, put the phone away, then they won't be calling you, and then you're afraid something's going to happen. So I don't think a college coach ever gets to unwind.
What's Octavius bring to your staff and your program?
Big O was a great hire, and the thing about it, when you talk about coaches, they get on players so much, and there just needed to be another voice. So now all of a sudden, okay, this is really what he was saying to you. You know, he may not have meant it that way, and that's what O can do. And just to hear his story, and then him playing here, and then to see where it took him, and then to get his PhD, and come back, and I was excited. Even when I met him, I was like, wow. I said, this is the guy I need. This is the guy I've been looking for right here. And just to get him hired was big, and I congratulate Mike, because Mike heard him speak also. And then he's like, hey, I heard a guy talk, and he said, I'd like for you to meet him. And so then O and I sat down and talked. But it was really a good hire for us. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.